welcome to another episode of Direct to Review. This is your favorite host, Trevor.
I feel like you
Leonard
jump
is here.
every time you do it. Like,
Leonard is here, being an asshole as always. You know,
it's what I do best.
And his lovely wife Celeste, who's
As is a custom in our house.
As is a custom of our people.
Being an asshole.
Yes.
So we're doing something a little bit different this week. As you noticed, we've gone down to once a week now.
Yes.
But we're going to talk 2 movies.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a little bit better. First, we are going to have a little bit longer podcast because we're going to be doing this. And also, our lives are a little crazy, specifically yours,
Trevor
with children.
had another child.
You have children. Did you know that?
I did.
Did you know that you birthed a child?
No,
you did.
No, you did it. Seahorse
My
style.
tiredness reminds me every day.
So, yeah, it's just going to be better for everyone. Plus, it'll give us a chance to work on some extra projects that we might be able to bring to you soon.
Extracurricular activities.
Yes.
That sounds like
right.
work.
Not just talking about movies, you know.
Yeah.
So, what did we watch this week?
All right, so we watched 2 Netflix original films.
Not Netflix original films.
It's
One
what
was a
they
Netflix
call
original
it.
film.
It's
Leonard?
what they call it. Don't fight me on this.
Not a Netflix original film.
Don't do it.
All right, what films did we watch?
God damn it.
We watched Fullmetal Alchemist and Death Note, both on Netflix.
Yep, it's Netflix's foyer into live-action anime reboots.
But
apparently.
as Trevor will tell you, Fullmetal Alchemist was released in Japan and then Netflix just bought it.
Yes.
Which, by the way, still makes it a Netflix original.
But it wasn't distributed. No, it was
wasn't
originally on
It
fucking
doesn't-
Netflix. It's not a Netflix fucking original. It was released
So
before
both these
Netflix.
Netflix original
When it's
films.
originally Netflix, it was originally on Netflix. But it was not originally on Netflix.
Listen, I go by what it says on the poster, and the poster
Yes, Leonard, everything on the fucking
says.
internet is the truth. Get out of here.
All right, anyways. So which one we want to talk about first? Let's see. Which one was the worst?
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Oh!
No, Death Note. Death Note.
Death Note was not that bad.
Death Note? Okay, we're
I
going Death Note. We're going Death Note.
Okay.
I love the anime Death Note.
Because majority of people here hated it.
Okay.
Only one person didn't.
Okay.
I only got through like 3/4 of Fullmetal Alchemist, and I haven't even watched the anime. And
Okay,
I've people that love the
All
anime.
right. Death Note.
All right.
Death Note.
Death Note.
Death Note. Okay, so let me preface this. I read the manga. I watched the anime, not even dubbed
Just
anime.
sit back, Trevor. She's just going to go for it.
And then I saw the movie, and I was like, what is this nonsense? Like, there's condensing, and then there's this movie. They missed everything. I mean...
It's like...
They weren't making
like
the
freeze
manga though.
But they weren't making the show either. I mean, okay, if you think about
They
it,
were making
manga is this huge thing, and then they condense it for the anime, and then this was just like, they have a killer notebook, and that's the only thing we have. Oh, and this guy's name is Light, so it's the same. It's not the same!
No, yeah, it's definitely it's not the same, but it wasn't a bad film if you just think about it as the way the story goes and the way the suspense builds. Yeah, it's very quick compared to like the anime, the manga, but it's not a bad film. As
I would say it's a bad film.
No. Yeah, here's the thing. So, with this one, I had never really watched or read anything from Death Note. So, I was completely new coming into it. I felt like, because it was so quick, I didn't really know or care about what was happening. I do like that they use Willem Dafoe.
oh yeah, that voice is great.
Because Willem Dafoe is the most underused actor for creepy-ass things. And everyone should do that.
William
I'm
Dafoe
just saying,
acted,
live action Rick and Morty, Willem Dafoe.
No, first off, Willem Dafoe should be Joker.
He's too old now.
But that's the perfect thing. Anyways, that's something else entirely.
Yeah,
So
he would have been perfect.
I enjoyed Willem Dafoe. As for the movie, I did not.
I wanted to see more of him.
I wanted more. What's the name of the demon?
Riku?
Right?
Ryuk.
Ryuk?
Ryuk,
yeah,
sorry.
Ryuk,
Right?
yeah.
Okay, Ryuk. I wanted more Ryuk, honestly.
Yeah.
He
Because...
doesn't really play a huge role overall, though. He's like, I guess, the puppet master.
But if you're gonna, like,
His role
redo
is
this...
like, I'm bored. Your humans do things.
Oh, that would be me as a demon.
Right? All of us as demons.
But I'm saying, if you're gonna redo it, have some fun with it, and if you're going to mess with the general plot from what it sounds like from what you were saying, why not just go all the way?
So,
I think it's more of an adaptation, not a reboot, because it was for American audiences, and well, they did fuck up L. I didn't like L.
I didn't either. And also, it felt like, you know, a teen movie. Something specifically geared towards young, prepubescent
honestly, I think that's what they were going for.
Like, it was a teen movie, basically. I was like, wow, this is, like, over the top and dramatic, and yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing I keep thinking about from this movie is that even though it's supposed to be like, oh, it's a teen movie, like anime, I think they immediately thought of younger audience, but most animes were super dark and like for adults.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically one where you write a person's name down and they die. I would assume that's more of an adult audience. Yeah. So
what
why
are you talking
make
about,
that?
Leonard? I loved that as a teenager.
We're not going to talk about you as a teenager because that is not a standard anyone should live by. So I just feel like they missed the mark on this one because obviously they shouldn't be making. I don't think Netflix should be in charge of making a live action anime because the Fullmetal Alchemist thing was freaking awesome.
I did like Fullmetal Alchemist, but we also did watch the. Well, okay, I didn't watch like as much as the anime as Leonard did. Apparently, Leonard apparently watched like all of it.
100 episodes.
Do you remember when like Fullmetal Alchemist would be on Cartoon Network at like midnight? Mm. Like that's when I would watch Fullmetal Alchemist.
You know, and I think the reason Leonard does that is because Fullmetal Alchemist was made as almost they were copying the anime, and
it was shot by shot. It was shot for shot. That's all.
Yeah, and it was geared towards super nerds like Leonard who watched the entire Fullmetal Alchemist. I thought it was cheesy. Terrible acting.
Because that's
it's
anime.
Yeah, anime.
Exactly. So this is a live. That's why anime has a hard time going to live action. It doesn't. It doesn't compare. Like, you can't do the big eyes. You can't do the funny faces that anime does. You know, the lines down, the eyes white. You can't do that on live action. It just looks goofy. So I don't think going with an anime feel to live action is a good way to go. That's why I think Death Note handled trying to adapt an anime better by changing it, making it completely different from the anime. So or the manga, so it's not like compared to those animations like that because you can't do that on live action.
But here's the thing. So
I
don't agree with you at all.
Did.
I don't agree with you at all on this because while it was a bit extra at times,
that's what I kept saying throughout the entire thing. I was like, look at these people being so extra.
I think it wasn't a bad way of doing it because Fullmetal Alchemist already is a really out there concept. You know, transmutation of different materials into other objects.
Is it really that out there? I mean, there's benders, airbenders. There's other magicians. It's just a combination of other. There's other animes that are very similar.
Can we talk about?
It's just they changed the name.
The full action Avatar: The Last Airbender and how disappointing that was.
Oh god, let's not talk about that one.
That was so disappointing, guys. I went in.
Shyamalan should never make a movie again after that.
I was so excited, and then that movie happened. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Before we go on, we should talk about the plot. Exactly what happened in Death Note. So if you haven't watched it, and then we can talk about the plot of Fullmetal Alchemist.
Okay, so who wants to take the plot of Death Note because I am not that great with the Death Note plot.
Okay, so Death Note. The movie, I'm not going to talk about the anime or the manga here. In the movie, there's a boy named Light. He lives in the city of Seattle. He finds a book that has Death Note written on it, and it just randomly fell from the sky, which doesn't sound bad because it actually happened. It's similar to what actually happened in the anime, so it's like that's not the worst part.
The general plot is the same. I just feel like the anime and the manga, you know, they drag it out longer. Yeah. Like in the anime and the manga, Light starts in high school and he goes all the way through like college and like after college.
Yeah. And he's in the anime he's super smart too. And this one he's just like
he's supposed to be like
above
a genius or something
like
in like the anime and the manga. That's why he's like so intelligent or whatever, and so that makes him obnoxious.
So he gets this notebook and it has a bunch of rules in it telling him that he can kill people by writing their names in there, and then the demon shows up who gives it to him. Thank you.
William Dafoe.
You were a little quiet, so I wanted to bring you out.
I was peeking a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, Celeste always peaks, so. And you're on the same channel as her, so.
So he discovers his new power. He tries it out on a bully. Bully dies, and he now has his new power. And there's a girl that he likes, and he decides to tell her about it.
It's Misa in here too.
It's
oh no,
Misa?
is it Mia in here?
I thought it was Mia in here. Yeah, Mia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm confused.
But get it? It's Mia Sutton. Mia Sutton. Okay. So her name's Mia. He tells her about the book, and he can't introduce her to Raikou because he's Riku. Okay, we said it wrong.
Ryuk. I said it once, and now I can't do it again.
And they go on the killing spree of murders and rapists and bad people.
They're cleansing the world, making it a better place.
But then they make up a name for as a murderer. It's Kira, which means light, I believe. His name.
It means killer.
It almost means killer in Japanese.
Yeah, in Japanese, it's
but
like
then
sounds like it.
In another language.
Wow, you guys are going really deep into this. When I talk about Full Metal, it's going to be so simplistic.
Okay, I'll simplify it a little more. So
no, don't worry, we'll go into it in the ending of Full Metal. We'll go into that too because that's super stupid. Anyway.
Well, the ending of Death Note wasn't the greatest.
What?
That's true. The ending of Death Note was stupid as
well.
well.
Like they ran out of film.
Okay, but
right? They rushed.
Animes don't have the best endings.
No,
let's be honest here.
Honestly,
if anybody watched Gundam, like the original 1972
Yeah.
Gundam, the ending of that was probably the most dissatisfying thing that has ever been.
Ending of Trigun was good.
Was it?
Yeah. Initial D didn't end so well.
No?
No. All right. So he has it, and all this killing piques the interest of a super detective named L. And we find out that he's trained since childhood to be a detective, and he's pretty much trying to figure out who Kira is, and he figures out they're from Seattle. Goes there, works with Light's father, who is a detective as well in Seattle, trying to figure out who Kira is, and in the end, he pretty much narrows it down to Light because he doesn't kill his father when his father threatens Kira, and it all unfolds from there. I don't want to go too specific, so you can watch. It's not that long of a watch, hour and 40 minutes.
You know what? That's what I do appreciate about Death Note is that it was quick. Fullmetal Alchemist was not.
I was going to say, I didn't finish it. I fell asleep because I was tired.
Well, you're also tired
And
for other external purposes.
Yeah,
well, like, Alina was here, and she watched the first half of Full Metal, and she was like, okay, I gotta go now, and Leonard paused it, and we were only an hour in, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Listen,
It's
it's
slow burn.
amazing. Don't hate.
Although they did they did
Blah, 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 blah.
They did condense it down from the anime for sure.
Well, the anime's pretty long.
Yeah.
I guess the best comparison would be like Harry Potter, the books compared to the movies.
Honestly, there's no comparison to how long Full Metal Alchemist is because there were 200 episodes, and there were some episodes, like multiple episodes, that basically did nothing. They didn't move anywhere. Yeah. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't advance a plot in any which way.
Well, Dragon Ball Z, I'm pretty sure they have like 3 episodes of powering up an attack.
Right.
Oh my god.
Just like different shots of it.
Yeah, 30 minutes. Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh man.
Maybe we'll get that one day.
Okay, so I Death Note, it was watchable. And
Death Note was not watchable.
if you haven't seen the anime or manga, maybe it's just a teen movie that has a little bit of a Final Destination feel to it. I mean, they had a little bit of gore in there.
Right, okay, see, that's the other thing. I liked the way they killed the bully.
That was great.
Decapitation is always the best decision.
Always.
So Full Metal Alchemist, I guess we should go over the plot on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2 brothers who are already alchemists after their father leaves very little, end up trying to bring back their dead mother, which then, because of the laws of equivalent exchange, meaning something has to be given in mass the same way, one ends up being trapped in a plate of armor, and the other one loses an arm and a leg to bring his brother back, and then trap him in a plate of armor because laws of
soul
equivalent
equals
exchange.
1 arm.
And there's a whole thing about the truth door, which they didn't even go into, which is probably for the best, because I believe that was like 7 episodes, if I remember correctly. So he sets out, originally you start the movie with Edward Elric, also known as the Full Metal Alchemist, which is the dumbest name because he's only like a quarter metal. And then his brother, whose name is Al, who actually is Full Metal.
is not the Fullmetal
but is not the
Alchemist.
Fullmetal Alchemist. So you start out as them looking for the Philosopher's Stone so that he can bring his brother's body back. And of course, there is a greater plot afoot with military and homunculi and other alchemists that ends up getting very convoluted by the end.
But we're just trying to get Elle's body back. That's all we want.
That's all we want is Al's body
Except
back.
we don't get it. Whatever.
I feel like we have to talk about the ending because of how outraged you are.
So Fullmetal.
Hold on. Mr. Trevor Thomas over here doesn't know the ending.
I don't want to know it.
You don't want to know it?
Yeah.
You do want to know
I'll
it.
watch the anime eventually. When I have
Alright,
some
so you
extra
are
months.
you ready to hear
When I have
this?
some extra months in my pocket, I'll watch the anime.
Because there is a bit
So
of a
never.
there is a bit of a disagreement that came from the ending, which is the fact that so they were looking for the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes.
And what ended up happening was the military actually was the one creating and transmuting the Philosopher's Stones from prisoners of war. The only way you could create it is by literally taking away a human soul and putting it into a stone. That was the whole purpose of it, right? And these homunculi, lust, gluttony, and envy, who were tracking down Edward, were trying to stop him from finding out about all this. And so the ending, they have a big battle, which every Fullmetal Alchemist fan was so excited about. And then they get the Philosopher's Stone, but because it's a human soul,
They're like, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna get his body back because,
Ed was literally standing next to Al's body.
like, we can't give up this soul that's already in this stone and the person's already dead, but let's not give up the soul. Let's just go ahead and keep the soul in this rock and I'll find some other way to get my brother's body back.
Yeah.
But, like, the soul is already in the rock and the person's already dead, so what's the point?
But
It's just dirty.
Oh my god.
it's
It's
about
still someone's soul.
it's about making a
Al's-
good moral decision, which they couldn't because it was someone else's soul. They literally had to give someone else's life for Al.
But, like, they already gave their life. They're a stone now.
Maybe they can be brought back.
Maybe
But
they can
we
use
do
it to
not
bring my
know
interest back into this movie.
Oh my god.
You just don't like the extra. I was living for
It
the
was-
extra.
It was just hard to watch.
Is it because okay, but here's the thing. The one thing about Japanese movies is that they're extra as it is.
Yeah.
They're over the top. That's just what they do. Because that's their acting style. Because they all come from that whole Bushido, not Bushido, the other one.
I'm talking about masks.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Anyways,
Japanese style theater.
the Japanese style
I think it's
theater.
Kabuki.
Kabuki.
So they all come from that kabuki thing where it's all big and it's supposed to be like really animated. So I don't think it is just the fact that it was an anime. I also feel like it was a Japanese film. Let us not forget Tokyo Tribe. That was also
Tokyo
very big.
Drive.
That was amazing, though.
And it was also an anime.
And so extra.
Yeah.
So extra.
So I just feel like a Japanese movie that's an anime anyways will have those moments of being extra.
Seeing as how I never watched Fullmetal Alchemist, felt like I was getting jerked around with the story right at the beginning.
You do. You get jerked around without the entire thing. And then when you watch 200 episodes of it, and they don't even do the thing that you meant to do in the beginning.
I guess that's fine because they had such a big fan base that they know that all those fan bases are going to be watching it, so they don't. Maybe they're not really gearing it towards me who's never seen the anime.
But that's the other thing. You know, I've always found that something about animes is that it's so subjective.
Yeah.
You know, you can have your favorite anime, but then someone else watches it and like,
That
I don't like it.
sucks.
Yeah. And maybe that's why Netflix should maybe stay away from animes. Putting so much money into
Well,
They have
into
all
it.
this money. They
like,
don't care.
so they're gonna be making the Umbrella Academy, which was a manga written by Gerard Way, the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. And
and now a DC comic book writer, by the way. Just
Yeah.
want to throw that out there.
and so
And we saw him.
We did make
At
you look
WonderCon.
very sad and kind of lonely and a little bit overweight. But it's okay because we still love him and we're not okay. And My Chemical Romance, Army for Life, Black Parade. Anyway,
Oh dear.
where was I going with this? Anyway,
I'm lost.
so Netflix is going to be. So there's the manga and they made it into an anime and they're going to be doing a movie now.
Okay, but what's it
So-
about? That I mean,
What do you
it's
mean?
just
What's
is it just about an umbrella?
No, the Umbrella Academy is superheroes that unite after their adopted father passes away.
Oh, I like
But-
this.
But the purpose is
X-Men.
they're trying. It kind of is, and I think it does have Ellen Page in it, so whatever. But anyway,
I'm still scarred from Super.
That was very upsetting.
anyway, I think they're going to keep doing it. I think that's what they're trying to. There's not a whole lot on there. It just got announced. They don't even have like anything for it yet.
They already have like 300. I read a stat. It was like Netflix already has like 370 movies planned or something. for the
Yeah,
next-
like for like the next however many years.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere, and I think it's just they have the money, so they're going to keep producing, and people are going to watch it. It doesn't. It's even if it's.
So then, let's talk about that for a second. I mean, do you think that they're making good choices with these kinds of movies? Because I enjoyed Full Metal, and honestly, I understand why you don't, because it was something that you really had to. It just had to hit you just right.
Yeah.
Like you really had to watch it and enjoy it. And I'm going to be honest here. The main reason I watched it back in the day was because of the girl I was dating at the time, and it was her favorite anime. And that was it.
Isn't that how we all get into anime, though?
Yeah,
Someone
it
we
was-
were dating in
So
high school was really
you're
into
saying
anime.
You were trying to date this girl
Oh, she was
or
Japanese.
animate.
Actually, I think that's how I started Death Note as well.
Yeah, it's for people who don't naturally come to anime.
Which, like, how
He was
does
trying
one
to animate with
naturally...
her.
Who naturally
You're
goes
really,
to anime?
you're really just trying with that thing, aren't you? Oh yeah, Ellen Page is in this, by the way, the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, and Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige. What a weird thing.
Right?
Just called actress.
Actress.
Anyways, but do you think they should be doing this? Do you think they should be venturing in? I mean, they've made some great movies like the Polka King and
Oh, God, I love the Poker King.
I think they can keep messing with the formula, and like they can keep releasing movies, and they'll get better. I feel.
Mhm.
well, I mean, they did release El Camino Christmas,
Yeah.
That
Mm.
one was a miss.
but they also did the Very Murray Christmas special.
That is a good Christmas special.
It's a very good Christmas special.
They did-
I do want to watch. What's the Valentine's Day special? I
They
want
did
to
Michael
watch.
Right.
Bolton's big
Yes.
something Valentine's Day special.
I do want to watch that because I feel like that will be a gift as well.
Seriously. Maybe that should be our next one. Is we'll compare their
Holiday
specials.
specials.
That might be fun.
I mean, if anything, like Netflix, it piques interest in older stuff. I mean, Fullmetal is not that old. Death Note's not that old, but having it
But
on
they're
here.
pretty old. Like if you think about
Actually,
it.
yeah, I believe.
Death
let me
Note
look at-
ended in 2007.
Which one though? Oh
Uh,
no, I guess it wasn't written until like. Oh, I went out there. I guess it wasn't written until 2006 or something.
Oh,
so
there's so many Full Metal Alchemists. I
Oh, man.
think it's this one. I think that looks right. Yeah,
or
that's it.
Maybe it just seems old because we're all so young and full of life.
Because this was the first season. This is how they had to do that. Was they were so split up that they just say the first season, and then it's a completely different show in the second season. I think that first season had like an insane amount of episodes. I don't even know how many episodes were in the first season.
I thought I saw a butt. It wasn't a butt.
You did not see it, but no. There are at least 51 episodes in the first season of Full Metal Alchemist from 2003 to 2004. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's I mean, most of the time you just see now what 20 episodes of anything
If it's a big show, but if it's a Netflix show, you only get 10
or 8.
or 8 or 6.
So and that's the other thing. Like Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist, those are the two that it's pretty easy to bring that up in a crowded room of anime lovers, and everyone has an opinion on it.
Yeah, you're gonna hit some. Yeah, everyone's gonna know about it.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be talked about.
it's kind of like if they did a Sailor Moon thing.
Oh God.
Right?
Oh my god.
Like, you walk in anywhere and go Sailor Moon, and you're like 40
and, like,
people run
yeah,
at you.
everyone's all like,
Yeah.
So I feel like these were safe bets. Maybe they didn't even try too hard to like bring something out with substance. Not to say that this didn't have any substance, but I feel like if you're going to do a shot-by-shot of Full Metal, and I know that that Netflix didn't do this, but they bought it because it was an easy win.
Yeah, it was already made.
Yeah. And then for Death Note, they took a little bit of a gamble by condensing it, making it themselves.
Americanizing it. Yeah, I think, like, I think if they were to change the names of, like, Light, maybe it could have still been L and, like, used a different protagonist and, like, okay, this is just a different story in the universe. This Death Note ended up in his hands.
So
that would have been a really cool concept, like Death Note in America, not like, you know,
he was still Light.
Yeah.
From the...
So
Yeah.
you're saying give it the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen
treatment.
Makeover.
Yeah.
Where these are all the characters you know in a universe you're familiar with, but they're not doing the things you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because it was so different anyways, it's like, they
just take
kept
the
name.
extra step.
Or,
Yeah.
I mean, they mentioned that that L came from a school detective. Why not have a different detective? But then I mean,
Right,
like,
as if there's a whole school of detectives.
they could have had M.
Yeah.
All letters of the alphabet are the detectives.
My
It's
name-
great.
He walks up. My name is lowercase L. I'm the cousin of L. I have umlauts in my name.
I think I would have enjoyed that a lot better because maybe that's another part I don't like about it. The original one is, you know, set in Japan.
Yeah.
And this was set in Seattle.
I can't help but, for both of these animes are dark animes, but they didn't really, like, use that at all. They didn't really take that dark tone and make it dark.
I mean, it was, like, dark, but not as dark as it could have been.
Well,
Yeah.
like Full Metal, I mean, you literally have a scene where Ed comes in to find that Tucker has, that Dr. Tucker has literally fused his daughter, his little 2-year-old daughter, to their
She was not
family.
2 in this movie.
She was
No,
like
but
5.
that's what but it was 2 years ago that she was born. I know, it doesn't make sense anyway.
Okay.
But to the dog. And, like, in the anime, that was heartbreaking. Like, it was so well done. It was just like, what the hell did he do? Why do you knew Nina way more. Like, you spent more time with her. And you knew how Al felt about that. There was one gripe that
That was
I
a good looking
had.
dog.
That's one gripe that I did have. Al, in the anime, doesn't age. He doesn't get older. So the voice of the armor is a little kid. So it's like this big body, but it's a little kid, which explains why he isn't as good as, you know...
There's a little voice in the...
No, they aged his voice. Because they showed him when he was a little kid. And he
His
had
voice
a very
is so
little
high.
voice.
The robot's voice was really high.
But it's...
A robot.
They even make a point. They even make a point to say... They even make a point to say that Al has gotten older. Like, they say that at one point. He's getting older now. And then you see Al's body, and he's older. Like, he's the same age as Ed, but he hasn't grown any. That's the whole thing. That kind of got messed up a little. Because there was supposed to be a connection.
Because when you die.
Yeah. Because there was supposed to be a connection between him and Nina, and then you're supposed to see how, you know, Al is like, oh, he finally found someone he enjoys playing with, enjoys that time.
He still act like a child.
And then you find out that Nina is, like, fused, creating a chimera with Nina, and, like, holy crap, you should kill Tucker, and you're supposed to feel all these emotions. But then when they do
I did not feel it.
No, it just kind of was there. I thought it was cool that they actually did that part, and the graphics were okay. They weren't great, but it was a cool way that they actually brought that in. But it could have been way better, darker. I think Full Metal would have been better if they would have split it into 2 movies.
No, I mean, I could see that.
Like
They
a
have more time.
4-hour thing.
I
Yeah.
felt
Bahubali.
Bahubali style.
I felt like the movie, like, especially at the beginning, like, was showing you all these characters just for, like, the enjoyment of, it's like, oh, there's that character, there's that character, look at him.
Okay, but the casting was really, really well done. Like, they look spot on, and it was crazy.
The costumes were pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, the costumes aren't hard because if you go to any anime convention, you're gonna find their costumes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. I really did. I think that they didn't go as far as they could have gone with it, honestly. But why did it go silent all of a sudden?
We were just looking at the picture.
Yeah, I know.
The characters.
I can't do two things at once.
Guys, keep
I'm not
talking.
good at the things. I'm sorry.
All right. So overall, I'm sorry. I got to mention this. I'm literally looking at stills from the anime, and I mean they did a really, really good job of matching like the homunculi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
they
they
looked
did.
They looked pretty spot on.
I mean, lust is a little harder.
What is the homunculi?
The homunculi are animated humans, non-humans.
So they're not human?
They're not human.
They're not human, but the Philosopher's Stone acts as their heart.
Yeah, and in fact, Ed was trying to create a homunculi to bring back his mom. He thought that meant that he could bring it in.
Ash monster thing.
Yeah, that was actually his mother. So in the anime, they mentioned that they actually put his mom in the middle of that circle, and they end up
Like
creating.
her body?
Yeah, they end up creating that thing from her, and it's like in pain, screaming. Like in the anime, I was getting a little nervous because in the anime, it's such a disturbing part where when you see it for the first time, it screams, and it's like, oh my god, I don't want to see it like in 3D sitting there. Like I just don't need that to look realistic right now. But
well, that's uncomfortable.
isn't it? It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, two little twin boys trying to bring back their dead mothers, uncomfortable as it is.
But seriously, I mean, ugh.
They're like, we can make a human. No big deal. Sorry, kids. Her soul's already gone. You can't bring her back.
But that's the other thing that I think they didn't convey. That this whole anime was about a human and their soul. Like, Al's soul was bound to that armor. And they were trying to bring back their mom, including her soul. And literally everything about Fullmetal Alchemist had something to do with a human and their soul. Like that battle between the two. That's why they have the truth door. And behind the truth door is supposed to be like all the answers to the world and all the answers to things that are going on. And they basically find out that, without your soul, you are absolutely nothing. So that's why Ed couldn't make that decision to, put someone else's soul at jeopardy to bring Al back.
Mm. So he's just the hero.
Because he already had his soul.
Yeah.
Is that why? He has his soul.
And
He
what-
doesn't need his body.
I think it was just an Ed growing as a character because he has had this obsession of bringing his brother back, what is it really going to get him? I mean, he has his brother there, his soul, which was what makes his brother is a soul.
Yeah.
That's what the enemies. That's what I'm gathering this is about. That it's not about your physical. It's about the soul is what makes you.
It's about being a human,
Yeah.
It's about
That's what
being
makes
that
you
person.
you. You don't have to have an actual physical body.
So I think him realizing that, and that's why the soul trapped in the stone is worth more than a body.
Right. And I was actually...
But like if that was your one goal.
If that's your one goal, I would finish it out, and I'd be like, well, let's see how we can restore that other person.
Like, you're getting to do with this soul and this stone, like you don't have a body for it. What are you
Yeah.
going to do? Put him in armor?
He just becomes Kermit, is what I'm trying to say. Yay!
So can we spoil Death Note? I don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
spoil
do
it.
Let's start with
It's
the
old,
ending.
for God's sake.
No, I mean the movie. Can we spoil the movie? Death Note?
Yeah.
Spoil it. Spoilers ahead.
At the end, there's a whole elaborate plan because pretty much Light gets caught and Elle knows who he is, and they're this whole chase scene, which was a little over the top, the chase. At the end,
During prom.
it shows him writing a bunch of stuff into the notebook, into the Death Note, and there's this whole scene where Elle chases him. He gets away. Elle gets attacked by a random cook because
Yes.
Elle is holding Light at gunpoint. And then he's like, the guy comes out and he goes, he's Kira, that's why I'm holding the gun at him. And then the cook, people think Kira's a hero because he's killed all these bad people.
I
So-
wouldn't fight the existence of Kira, honestly. I'd be like, you do you, boo-boo.
But it'd be a little scary that you just die randomly if you do something bad. It's like,
I'm not like murdering people. I'm not too afraid
I
of
ran
that.
I ran a red light.
Am I the only person that would just come up with an amalgam of a name and just write it in the book and see if it happens?
Oh my god.
You have to
Like-
picture their face though.
Yeah.
Like, think of a random person because
No, it has
you
to
have,
be the person though. It
Here's-
has to be the
here's the
person
thing.
and the.
you could easily like just think of a general face because there aren't that many like differences between humans, even though we like to believe there are. So there's a like at least a 10% chance that you could think of the person and the name just by the name.
Okay, Leonard. Continue, Trevor.
Okay, then I would go through someone's
Oh my
old
God.
yearbook and do it that way. Anyways, go ahead.
There you go. So basically he knocks out L. Light gets away. Light meets his girlfriend Mia at the
The
Carnival
pier or
pier
something. Yeah.
So at the end, he wrote out this elaborate plan that he was going to fall off the Ferris wheel and survive in the water. That he found two bad people to help him in his plan, because you can control people's
Yeah, you can't.
last
use
final
their
actions, but you can make their final action over a couple of days. So if you
Mhm.
write it out, and he specifies that he wants this what is he, rapist doctor or something, or murderer
Yeah.
doctor.
I think it was like a molester or something
Yeah,
like that.
to find him, resuscitate him, bring him back to health after he falls off this thing, this other like child molester or something, to find the notebook, write down 4 names of random criminals, and bring him back the notebook in the hospital, so it makes it look like it's not him.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he tells this whole story, explains it all, and Elle kind of figures out that he's getting blamed because they're like, oh, it can't be Light because people are dying
He's
while he's
in
in
a
the hospital.
coma.
Yeah. So Light gets his genius idea all of a sudden, and because even though he wasn't very smart the whole movie,
But this one time, he
Yeah,
was
he's
like,
like,
I'm
I'm
a
a
genius
genius, right?
now.
wasn't very established, and and he's explaining this all, and Elle gets a bright idea, something that Light had mentioned, that something about a calculus book, and that's when he goes and finds a page in Mia's calculus book at her house, and it shows him kind of thinking about writing down Light's name, we're assuming, right? Because he's like kind
I
of
think
taking
so.
it back, and he's like has a pen in his hand, he's like, and he says he's never killed anyone because he just brings people to justice, and then Ryuk shows up at the hospital and like does this weird like look around
Mhm.
what is it, a shelf, and it just ends.
Well-
Light gets like a weird look on his face, like,
Well,
and
at
Ryuk,
the-
what is Ryuk's line?
I don't
It
remember.
was like, humans are so interesting, and that was the
Yeah.
end of it. It felt like it just ended.
Well, in the end of Death Note, like, you know, the anime and the manga, Ryuk actually kills Light, which he told Light at the beginning that he was going to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And he does kill him. And that's how they end Death Note.
So in other words, they don't believe in surprising anybody ever.
You don't remember because it was dragged on for so long. But yeah, basically, he got bored with them. He was like, Light, you're now boring to me, so you're dead. Which, that was the whole thing. This was just Ryuk's thing because he was bored and he's a demon that lives for thousands and thousands of years, so what else is he gonna do?
So can Ryuk?
Take up knitting.
Does it ever establish?
Why would you knit when you have a Death Note book?
Well, I mean, after a while, don't you think you would get tired of killing people?
Well, he obviously got tired of it. That's why he gave it to Light and was like, I wonder what this little fucked up kid is gonna do.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
they never really clarify if Ryuk was actually making the deaths happen, or if he makes it like a happenstance. Like there's like circumstances where it gets set up and the person dies, but like when they were on the Ferris wheel right before it destroys, it's like he's making the Ferris wheel crunch like with his like hand. You could see him like crushing it like he's a fucking Jedi.
Yeah.
And
Sith, because Jedis would not do that.
okay, whatever.
Oh, okay.
He's a
Leonard.
fucking Force user.
Let's be honest here. It's
mean-
like Emperor Palpatine meets Vader meets.
That's
someone.
not true. That'd be a Jedi. Like if it was if there was a Sith up there,
But
Yoda was
dude,
fucking
But Jedis don't use like a Force like choke.
crunch. No,
Yeah.
it wasn't a crunch. It was like a pool. That was
Okay,
like a
well,
crunch.
if it's a pool, there's
No,
a lot of pools.
Yoda was like throwing shit around at Sidious when they were fighting in the episode 3.
The Citadel thingy?
Yeah, when they were in the room.
The
Mhm.
room.
Yeah, Yoda was like jumping around like.
Oh!
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yes.
I think okay. A Sith move. Okay, he was crushing it with his hand, like a crunch. But then like other kills that people just like either they kill themselves or something. So I guess he can.
He has many chlorians in his blood.
He has many chlorians.
Yeah.
Many chlorians.
So it just leaves this ambiguous, like, I guess we're supposed to assume that L wrote down Light's name, maybe? And that's why Ryuk is there to kill Light?
What was the rule of, like, passing on that book?
I don't know, because Mia just took it out of his hands and apparently she took control.
Right? She was just... Well, technically, you have to kill the person to take control of the notebook. Or you can give up your rights to the notebook, but you lose all memory.
Just declare it.
See,
I declare bankruptcy!
Oh god.
Sorry, everyone.
Oh god. Well, okay, so that part was a little confusing because in the anime and the manga, he meets her. She's a model, and she has her own demon thing, and she has her own death note.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how they're able to like kill together.
Why didn't they keep that in there? That would have
don't
been
know.
really
Why did they
good.
keep her
Been
cute
really
little,
good.
like, black outfit, too?
Right? They make her freaking adorable and kind of
I'm looking this up for research purposes.
You'll love it. I guarantee it. But, like...
I don't know if I clicked on the right one. Did I?
Yeah, that's the anime.
I'll take that. Anyways, continue talking while I look up things for research purposes.
So, yeah, they kind of did not do that right.
Yeah. The actor that played L, he did a good job of trying to...
That's her.
Of trying to...
It's good research.
copy his body, like the way he was. I appreciated that, like the way he was sitting and like the little the bad
how he
posture.
had the little, I don't know, monkey sit, if you will.
I thought that was pretty cool. But oh my gosh, in the anime, Light just gets so fucking evil.
He does. He really gets
yeah.
so evil. They don't even
This
get
kid
to a
was
tenth of that in this movie.
Yeah.
But they get real dark. And I'm like, where's the darkness?
What? I mean, they killed Mia, so it's like, it was okay. As the more I think about it, like compared to the anime, the more I think about the anime,
Right, the more you
so
think about
much
the
more.
anime, you're just like, you could have done more.
Okay, but let's talk about the immediate use of Ryuk in that music video, Pen, Pineapple,
that was good.
Because we gotta talk about that.
What?
They took the model from, I don't think it was from this movie in particular, but I guess they've made Ryuk before in a 3D model. And so that stupid viral video of that guy singing about a pen and an apple and a pineapple, you know, pen, pineapple, apple, pen. So you can literally watch Ryuk sing that entire song with dance moves, pen, apple, pineapple, everything.
What?
It's pretty amazing.
After this, I will show it to you.
Yes, please.
That right there is the best anime ever.
Found it. It's the best. It's
All right,
great.
so we've talked about both of these pretty extensively. We have an opinion on it. I'm actually surprised by our opinions that we have so many. Maybe we'll put up a post on our Facebook and maybe we can get some people to chime in on it. But more importantly, I think what we need to now talk about is what is the next anime that you would want to see them do? Because I already know. I want a Gundam movie. For God's sake, someone make a fucking Gundam live-action movie. I know you're going to just do a Pacific Rim style, but I don't care. When I was young, I wanted a Gundam. I just wanted to be a Gundam pilot. That's all I wanted to be. But I've never gotten the opportunity until Japan put a fully working, life-size Gundam in Tokyo. And now they've taken it down, and they put it back up, and now it does even more. So I have to see this.
Sounds like you want to go to Tokyo.
Who doesn't want to go to Tokyo?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Something I really like Fruits Basket,
Okay.
which was this chick, and she runs into this whole family, and if they're touched by members of the opposite sex, they turn into a animal from the Chinese.
Zodiac?
Yeah.
Oh.
and that's like the whole thing. And I mean, there's a lot more to it, but that's basically it. And I really loved it. I read the manga and the anime, and I would be interested to see how they would make that into a movie. Maybe not like Netflix, maybe like Japan, and then Netflix buys the rights.
Yeah, because that we already know is better.
But that would be pretty cool.
All right, Trevor?
I don't know if I want one
No?
anymore. I don't think they should make live action animes. They
What about something like My Neighbor Totoro? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Doing like a live action?
That'd be kind of scary.
That's the point.
I mean, every live action anime I see, it's just like you always compare. I mean, it's never as
Okay,
good.
what about if they could make it the way you would want it, which is more realistic in acting and less anime over
Like
the
inspired by the
top?
anime.
Inspired by. Let's go with inspired by.
I think Trigun would be cool.
Okay, now I've never seen Trigun, so what's that?
It's very short. You can watch it. It's been a few years since I watched it. It's basically a guy. He's a Trigun. Oh, what was it? Okay, I don't know.
This is
the name
going
of the
well.
planet. I don't know.
This
the
is
name
a
of the
really
planet.
good anime. Go ahead.
It's very
so it's
short.
a guy. Just a guy. He's a Trigun.
I mean-
That was season 1. Season 2. The guy is still a Trigun.
God damn it.
End of season 2.
And I'm
Sounds
like
like
half asleep
every
over
But
anime
it
ever.
literally.
So the main character is Vash the Stampede. I will tell you exactly what it's about now.
Did you just say badge?
Vash.
Oh,
Vash Leonard.
I was like, wait a minute. Now I'm interested. Go ahead.
So he being hunted by bounty hunters. They want his head destruction because he
I
destroyed the
really
city of
want to point
July.
out that he's reading it from a Wikipedia.
Man, it's been a while since I watched it. It was really good though. I should watch it again. Leonard, you bastard.
But anyway, so the general premise of it is that it's about a person who fights, maybe?
No, he's an expert marksman. Okay, just you should watch it.
Okay.
What about Dot Hack?
Holy crap. You know what? Yes, I hit the table because you hit on a nerve.
Dot
Let
Hack
me-
was so good.
Let me say something here. Dot Hack was my first solo venture into anime, not because of the anime. Trevor, I don't know if you know about this or if you remember it, but the very first ever MMORPG for the PS1, PS2 era was Dot Hack.
Really?
Now, the funniest thing was that it wasn't a real MMO, because if you remember back in those days, they had a very crappy way of you getting on the internet, whether it was just plugging your phone line in, and then it was kind of faux internet. But it was so immersive because you felt like you were playing an MMO.
Mhm.
But the RPG was so good in it. You could play this game for hours, and there was so much to do. In my opinion, it was the first ever really good open world game that was brought out on an early console. But the funny thing was, when you bought Dot Hack, the video game, you got the first season of Dot Hack, the anime.
So that it would make sense?
Yes, you literally had to watch it so that you understood what the hell was going on. So I thought, sure, why not? I kind of enjoy the opening of this game, but I don't know anybody who's in the game, so let's do it. So I watched it and I became hooked. A great story, great characters, and that is the one anime that was not over the top. Instead, it was very realistic, very... there was a lot of drama, but the comedy in it wasn't slapstick all the time. Because there was some, but it wasn't this major slapstick thing that always happens in anime shows. So,
The
I
manga was
would-
really good too.
oh my god, they were. Mind you, there was a lot of Love Hina style moments in there. Little
I
hentai, but...
Love Hina. Oh my god.
So maybe I know a little bit more about the stuff that I have given on in the past, but I would love a Dot Hack story. I think Ready Player One, that's coming out, the new Spielberg movie, gets really, really close, but I think we really need to look into getting someone to do a Dot Hack story.
And
Because
now I
it-
want a live action Love Hina because that would be so funny.
Okay, first off, nobody wants a live action Love
I
Hina.
want a live action Love Hina.
And second, that's just called porn.
Softcore.
Oh, Lord. We went somewhere. I don't know where. This is why we don't talk about anime. It's on direct to review. Oh,
Because
God.
Celeste has interesting taste.
That and I also do too. What was the other one I used to read? It was like Priest. Yeah, it was called Priest. It was a good manga.
Didn't they make that into a TV show?
Yeah, well, no, they call it was Preacher or something like that.
Preacher.
And that
Is
was
that
based off of Walking Dead.
That's based off of Walking Dead?
Apparently, it's like a secondary story from their actual books, not from the show, but from the books.
Yeah.
I don't think that did very well.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it ended up getting canceled pretty quick.
Yeah, I just remember seeing previews of it.
But
I haven't caught up on Walking Dead yet. I've been holding off.
you know what? You know when the last time was I watched Walking Dead?
Like 3 years ago.
3rd season.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot has changed.
3rd season, 6th episode.
Where were they? Were they still at the farm then?
They're
Or they
still
left
at the
the
prison.
No, they left the farm then. Farm was season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then prison was season 3. Yeah.
I've never seen the
Was the
Walking
general
Dead.
there? Have you?
So I should say that I've watched other episodes from other seasons because my family watched it a ton, and I would just be in the I'm going through puberty. And I would just kind of be in the area and have to watch it. So I'm like mixed up on when someone was somewhere because I ended up going back to the person at one point. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And I watched the whole Carl. What'd you do, Carl?
Yeah, well, that's when the mom.
Yeah,
I've
that's what she
even
does.
Carl.
I've seen that. And I haven't
Everyone-
even seen The Walking Dead.
sees that.
And I've seen that. Like, I have no clue what this is about or what it means, but here I am.
Other than Fear the Walking Dead or Don't Fear the Walking Dead, something like that.
I liked the first season of Fear the Walking Dead,
And then
but the second
was
season
weird.
seems so stupid because they're like, oh, the zombie outbreak's happening. Let's go to Mexico. And I'm like, yeah, let's go to overpopulated Mexico. This sounds great. Let's not go to the Rockies. Let's not go to, like, Alaska. Let's go to
Alaska. That's a good place to
Mexico.
go.
Alaska.
I never
Yes.
think about Alaska.
No, you gotta go to Alaska. It's
They
so
might
cold.
Get some like zombie wolves or something.
Oh,
But,
zombie
like-
polar bears.
Oh.
That's not good.
Are there
But-
polar bears in Alaska?
I don't think so.
I don't think there are just normal, like, brown bears, aren't there?
Yeah. It's,
But,
Yeah,
like,
Alaskan
wouldn't it be
bears.
too cold for, like, something to survive up there?
A virus,
well, yeah, that's the
but
premise.
not a bacteria.
That's the premise of World War Z. Have you read World War Z?
I haven't read it, no.
Have you seen that movie?
I've seen the
The
movie.
movie's not anything with the book is.
I've heard.
Yeah. So
Just kind
basically,
of like I Am Legend, apparently, is like really off from the actual book.
there's a book about I Am Legend.
Yeah.
I gotta read that.
Apparently, in that one, they find a cure, and like there's this whole thing that goes on with it.
Man, that was a good movie.
And they weren't even like zombies; they were vampires,
What?
and
What?
they could talk. And
Mm.
at one point, that whole part where like Will Smith is supposed to be attacked by them, he actually negotiates with them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then they
Already then.
find a cure for it. Like it's completely different.
Did he tell them that he was a prince?
Uh,
He's
I-
fresh.
yeah, he told them.
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
He was talking about that one time he was on a playground where he played
Uh-huh.
most of his
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
You said he was chilling out and maxing.
Relaxing.
Well,
Relaxing.
that's
Oh,
all
cool.
But then he got in one little fight,
But don't forget about the people.
and his mom got scared.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
they sent him to live with his
Auntie and uncle.
in Bel Air.
Yeah. Okay.
He,
Then,
held
then they
cab.
felt for him, right?
Yeah. We could do that all day. What kid from the '90s couldn't?
So you had just a little bit ago. You mentioned Ready Player One. Have you read that?
I have not read it. I actually tried to go and find the book a couple of weeks ago, and I can't seem to find it.
I'm listening to an
properly.
Audible right now.
Oh,
Because I want the movie. A lot of people are hyped about it.
please talk into your mic for God's sake.
Oh my! I am. I'm right here. How do you want to hear?
There you go.
Better, Leonard.
That's beautiful.
Leonard is better.
Yeah.
Okay. And the book is really good.
Is it?
I'm getting more hyped for the movie the further I get into the book. It's really, embraces a lot of 80s culture.
Yeah.
So Leonard, you were there.
Shut the hell up. For 1 year.
No, Leonard, not even for a year.
No,
for like
for
a month.
There you
For a
go.
month, he lived in the 80s,
You
which
know,
is longer than Trevor and I
Well,
were
you have
there.
I wasn't even in the 80s, but you
Me
better.
neither.
That means a better chance of having memory of stuff from the 80s, because.
well, I do
It was
remember
still, like,
my neon
relevant.
clothing, but
Okay.
I just know that every picture of me as a child is in like that weird pink and blue color and like
The cup color.
sweatsuits, you know, the swishies.
Why was everything meant for you to sweat in? I don't remember it being hot all the time. I don't remember sweating that much in the 90s, but everything was sweat ready, sweat resistant. You could wear windbreakers no matter what. If it was a formal occasion and you weren't wearing a windbreaker, you might as well just shoot yourself.
What were the 90s?
I don't know. There was a lot of wind and sweating, apparently.
Clothes got a lot looser, and that's getting tight again.
Yeah.
It's getting real tight, and I'm just like,
My clothes are always getting tighter.
It's all that damn McDonald's and the Szechuan sauce.
God.
But
Yeah.
like, how delicious is the
But
Szechuan
seriously,
sauce?
I love
It's
the
pretty
Szechuan
good.
sauce.
It was very teriyaki-y.
It was. Well,
But it's
it
got a
was.
little bit more of a vinegar.
It was
The
to
soy,
it.
it's the salty
Yeah,
soy
it
taste.
was for the release of Mulan, so I understand where they're coming from.
Which, soy sauce, not Chinese, but okay.
So
You know what? Mulan is so mixed up, it doesn't know what it is.
Right. If you've ever watched Mulan and you're looking at the buildings, they're Japanese, and then they have like Japanese things going out throughout it, but they're supposed to be for China. And I'm like, you're
They're
not.
like for China, and I'm like, with that Japanese backdrop though.
But seriously, and the same kind of drawing, anyways. But we're getting way off topic in this one.
No, Mulan
But you know what?
technically could be in the same culture-esque. We're getting tired of it.
and we are getting a live action Mulan. What
We are.
Speaking
Yeah.
of live
We
action,
are.
what Disney movie would you want to see live action that they already haven't announced?
Oh, they haven't announced.
I'm like, they're
Okay,
doing
but
everything
Does it
live
count
action.
that I have insider knowledge? Because technically the ones that I want are being announced soon.
Well, aren't you special?
What? Okay, so
No, you guys go ahead and then I will say mine. How about that?
Okay. If I could have.
okay, let's name what they're
anyone-
already doing, so we don't have to. We don't.
Okay, so
name
they
them.
already did
What-
the Jungle Book. They
Cinderella.
already did Cinderella,
Beauty
Beating the
Beast.
Beast.
Did they announce Snow White?
They already had like a billion Snow White, but Disney Snow White.
Yeah, Disney Snow White
Oh,
live
are they
action.
doing that, Leonard?
I don't know.
I'm tired of Snow White. They've done enough Snow Whites. I don't care about Snow White.
Everyone cares about Snow White.
They did. They kind of.
101 Dalmatians, but that was a long
No,
time
I
ago.
I love that
That was a
one.
good movie.
That one was a good movie. They kind of did Sleeping Beauty. They did Maleficent,
Yeah, it was not at all Sleeping Beauty, though.
but it was the Sleeping Beauty story.
It was a
kind
little
of.
bit of it. It was like the
I thought it was good.
the
I liked
background. I loved Maleficent, but
It
it
was
was
a
the
great
background
movie.
of Sleeping
I don't
Beauty.
remember what even happened in Sleeping Beauty. She wakes up. She goes to sleep.
And then she wakes up. It's
And
a
no,
very
yeah,
simple
she
plot.
goes to sleep, and then my memory is she goes to sleep, and then Prince Eric in that one? No, it's not Eric.
It's
It's
Prince Philip.
Philip. Yes, Prince Philip fights the dragon. That's the whole movie in my mind.
Yes.
And what else?
That's
There's
pretty
no
much
meat.
it.
What else?
What happens in the middle? There's no like
Like
adventure.
it's her birthday, and they're like
She
cheaper
pricks her finger.
away.
It takes a
from
while for her to
meal.
fall asleep,
It
right?
does. It takes her a
Yeah.
while. They do have their wood dancing scene.
And then the fairies like fight each other with the pink and the blue.
There's
Yeah.
honestly no
There's
premise to that
Not
movie
a whole
other
lot
than
going on
a
there.
girl one day takes an extended nap and a dragon is fought. The end.
The dragon's badass.
End of story. Wait, that dragon was
Okay.
scary.
So there's that one.
They
Okay,
did-
They have what do they have announced? Dumbo. They have
Yeah.
Lion King.
Lion
they have
King,
Mulan.
which they did recently. No, they didn't. Never mind. I'm going to take that back.
Didn't they-
You're gonna
I saw a
fire.
poster that was like Lion King starring Beyonce as Nala. I was like, who cares? Nala's not the main character. Who
Right.
cares?
So like Beyonce's in it, but like what cracks me up the most is that like Billy Eichner's in it, and also who's the Last Week Tonight guy?
John Oliver.
Yeah, John
John
Oliver's in
Zazu.
it,
Shenzi.
and like it's just such a random cast. I
Shenzi.
just don't
Is that
understand.
the monkey? No, it's Rafiki's in it. Shenzi.
Shinzi's one of the.
She's the main coyote. Not coyote.
Yes.
Hyena.
No. Coyotes.
Kamari. They took away Ed, right? And they renamed him too?
Yes,
Mhm.
they did. They did change some of the
But he's
names.
the Ed character. Michael
Yeah.
Keegan? Or Keegan?
Yeah, Keegan Michael Peel or
Yeah,
Keegan Michael. That's a hard one. Anyways,
Anyway, what other live action?
I was gonna say, if you search the internet right now, you will most likely find clips from The Lion King because they did release some of the very unusual CGI that they're going to be doing.
Interesting. That's
Why
interesting.
is it unusual?
You'll have to see it.
Okay, what are you looking? What would you want to see?
Okay, so what
Celeste.
that they haven't already done because it seems
Or
like
announced.
that's just their new thing now.
Because they've come and run out of ideas.
They're just like now's
They've
the
done-
time.
They're
Have
buying up all the other ideas.
Have they
too.
done Pinocchio yet?
No, I think they. I thought.
I mean, there was
I
a
heard
few.
that.
I heard.
Where
No,
but there wasn't that.
Do you
heard-
remember that particularly weird one from? Oh,
Trust me, I have a Pinocchio story that will rival the Martin Short one.
Oh dear.
But I thought they already announced that they're going to do Pinocchio.
I'm sure they are.
I'm sure
yeah.
they are. I would like to see.
Live action Toy Story.
How would that even work? It's just Tom Hanks.
Oh no! What is that?
That doesn't look great.
TV miniseries.
That's not the
Pinocchio?
one. That's not the one. I'm trying to find the one. Guys, keep talking.
Okay, well, I have one in my mind. I'd like to see Brave.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah, I
good.
think-
That one should have just been done. Honestly, it should have just been the thing.
What is this?
Leonard
Sorry.
It's not
Skinner's
his
looking
nose
up.
that grows.
Oh
no,
my
erotic,
god.
erotic adventure of
Let me explain. So
Pinpokey.
current- currently, I have up on screen a ripoff of Pinocchio that was done in the 70s. It was a
Mhm.
porno called The Erotic Adventures of Pinocchio. And the tagline is, "It's not his nose that grows."
Did you watch this, Leonard?
I did not.
This is-
Instead, when I was trying to figure out, I just wanted to see a singular scene from it
Mhm.
because I was curious to
One
see
scene.
why
Just one.
they chose that, because apparently it has nothing to do with Pinocchio. I ended up stumbling upon I don't even know what year it is. I can't even find it. It is from Italy. It's like a terrifying Pinocchio. Yes, I think this is it. I think this is 2002.
Is it like he's like real and his nose?
Yes, this
That's
one.
So creepy.
This one is the
What?
creepiest freaking Pinocchio. I don't even think they have it. Yeah, they do.
Oh, that's weird.
So, okay, so it's an Italian film, and it is just creepy AF. It's
Is Pinocchio
just...
a real Italian name?
Pinocchio is an Italian fairy tale.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, Trevor, what about you?
You
Yes,
already
you said
you already
Brave.
said it.
I wanna see
You said
Brave.
Oh, that's right. I was
Yeah.
listening.
I think Brave would be good.
How funny would Emperor's New Groove be?
Oh my God! And they need to get
Spade.
they need to get what's his face to play it. The one that actually does Cusco's voice.
David Spade.
Yeah, David Spade.
Yeah.
I can't hear you for
Trevor's
some
saying
reason.
it's because you can't hear other people when you talk all the time. It's like
Shut
this
up.
weird anomaly that happens.
Alright, Leonard.
Okay, it's gonna be weird because technically this movie came out as a live action film,
Huh?
but I want it redone again, which is Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
Oh, okay.
which most people don't even know that that's a Disney film until they go to like Disneyland and they'll see like Roger Rabbit's Wild Ride and stuff like that. I want that again because I think it can be done even better now.
Really? Because I think that's already such a good movie.
No, don't get me wrong. That's my favorite movie. When it's on, I will actually put it on. And there are very few movies that I will do that with.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see how they can do it now. What they can do with it. I want them to really dig in.
Dig into Who Framed... I know, I want like a second part to Who Framed
Yes,
Roger Rabbit. Let's not
absolutely.
do the original. Let's do more.
Yeah. How about like what was her name? The one in there?
Jessica Rabbit?
Jessica Rabbit.
Mm.
How about Who Killed Jessica Rabbit?
Let's not kill Jessica Rabbit.
Let's go dark.
How about we not do that?
I think it'd be kind of cool if they did like an Enchanted-esque movie about like the original like Mickey, Goofy, Daisy, Donald, and Minnie. Like they go through like a portal and end up in the human world, and they take.
What about a Kingdom Hearts movie?
That would be. It's like another anime type
But
movie.
when we gonna...
No, because
When
Kingdom Hearts
we-
was never an anime.
When we gonna get the third one?
That's already announced.
That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna hold her
When
back for a
is the
second.
third one coming? I'm sure my great-great-grandchildren will very much enjoy it.
Oh,
When is it coming?
now she's clapping. We need to end
At
this.
least we see gameplay. I mean, Half-Life 3 still doesn't exist at all.
Yeah. Apparently, at one point it did.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh God. We should probably end this before she starts murdering people. So
Give
hopefully,
it to me.
I think this was a success. I don't know. We had fun. I had fun, anyways. And I hope you will join us next week for whatever the hell we're going to be comparing next time. We'll see. It'll be an adventure.
Compare and contrast with director review.
We'll figure out a better name. Don't worry. Trevor's the one that comes up with the names.
Oh yeah. You know,
Go, Trevor. What's it called? Go, Trevor.
Direct to the
Yeah.
different movie. Direct to the two. Direct to review.
Direct to review.
We'll
Like
come up with a
the
better
number
name. Anyways.
2. So funny. Direct to reviews.
Anyways.
Yes.
We are going to... We're
Direct to review.
I think we're all delirious, so I'm going to end it right here. Thank you so much for joining us, and
For the inaugural episode of Direct to Review.
Direct to reviews.
Big
All
shout
the
out.
reviews.
A big shout out and thank you to Trevor's mom and to everyone else. Thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.